Here we are again for another episode of the Hourglass Podcast, where family law and psychology intersect. You've got to decide, how do I celebrate the Yuletide season this year? Who do I buy gifts for? Who do I take off my list? Should I plan my festivities in keeping with the ones from years past? Will I spend my time with the same people? Will I go to the same places, prepare the same celebratory feast? Or will everything be drastically different? We have Tracey Jones from Ultimate Performance Personal Training Gym in LA and West Hollywood. Her company has 30 locations around the globe. Tracey is a specialist in helping clients not only get into shape, but she also manages a staff of trainers that help clients maintain that lifestyle. Now, welcome, Tracey. I see in your information that your gym uses a body composition program fitted to each client's lifestyles, their goals, their abilities. And you talk about success in a client's program as it relates to metrics and health markers. Can you please explain that to our viewers?
Sure. When our clients come to us, they generally speaking have a broad goal. I want to look better, I want to feel better, I want to get healthier, but they don't have a very defined, specific, measurable goal. So we help them get to what that goal might be, because at the end of their transformation or their end of their time with us, we need to measurably be able to see where they came from and where they're at right now and see what the accomplishments are that they had done. So the metrics are usually weight, body fat, actual measurements, as well as strengths, and then of course how they look.
Great. And so if I'm a new client, what can I expect from my Ultimate Performance personal trainer when I sign up for a program at your facility?
You can expect a all-encompassing, full spectrum involvement out of our personal trainers, out of ours very specifically. Most personal trainers, when you go to them, they are going to help you work out, they're going to help you with your nutrition a little bit, and they're just going to make sure that you work out well. We are a little bit more accountable, we're a lot more results driven than most personal trainers. So you will meet them. Of course, we are going to give you a full body assessment. We're going to do body caliper measurements. We're going to find out your body composition, measure you, really measure out what your goals are. We have our own app, and that way you can track your calories, your nutrition. We're going to give you the guidance on exactly what you're going to be eating, how you're going to eat it, and when to eat it. We're going to tell you exactly how many steps we want you to take. All of this is outside of the gym. When you're with them, with the trainer themselves, you will be actually training on a very specific, measurable, science-driven template that our founder created.
Great. And how often would I meet with the personal trainer?
3 times a week for an hour each time.
Wow. Yeah. So that gets you right off in the right direction, I
Absolutely,
suppose.
absolutely. The first couple of weeks are probably going to be a little bit more challenging, because that's where the habits are created. That's where we're really trying to get you to realize that this is your new lifestyle. After that, it becomes very habit-driven, and it's part of your schedule.
Right. Now, what happens after that startup program is over?
Mm-hmm. You continue.
Right.
You have to continue. You have to maintain it. And that's, any personal training program, ours especially, is very much built on educating you on how to maintain that lifestyle. Because the hard part for anybody in any kind of exercise, especially at the beginning of the year, is very much, how do I get started? And anybody can teach you how to get started. It's the making you maintain that. That's where the challenge is.
And so what does the maintenance program look like? How does it differ from the startup program?
It doesn't.
Oh.
It's the same. It's a continuing education, if you want to look at it that way. It's how do you maintain it? How do you continue this lifestyle? How do you make sure that you don't fall off the wagon, or you continue to keep this scheduled? And how do I continue to eat right? How do I not, go crazy on the weekends? So.
Now, this question I have is because I went through a bad experience with a personal trainer. But does the personal trainer set the expectations, or do I? My experience was I went to a personal trainer. He worked me to death to where after every session, I either felt like I was going to throw up or I actually threw up. I'd go home. I couldn't do anything afterwards. And I don't think it was part of the startup, getting used to a new situation. So taking us back to the question, how does a personal trainer and the client figure that out?
At the beginning of your first initial consultation is 90 minutes long. That's where you're really setting up all your expectations. That's where the client is telling the trainer what their goals are, what they're expecting, what they want to get out of that. Then the trainer also is going to share their their hopes, because a lot of people, they don't think they can go as far as they can go. So
Right.
if they, whether it's a weight loss goal or a strength gain goal, regardless what their goal is, people don't really believe that they can do as much as they're capable of doing. So sometimes the trainers, yes, do over push you. That was probably not a good example of personal training. In the beginning, it is challenging, like you said, but it shouldn't be challenging like that. A trainer should be gauging your reactions and gauging your abilities every moment during the training session, and then we do have people that don't feel good and do get sick, and that is a part of it, because
Right.
your lactic acid builds up in your stomach and it actually makes you not feel good. But you get used to that. You should get used to that, unless somebody is inappropriately training you.
Now, what kind of questions should I ask my potential personal trainer before I actually sign up?
Hopefully you will get a really good background on the trainer before you even are with them.
Right.
You'll get a good idea of what their history is, what their modality is, because there's a lot of different types of training. There's a lot of different types of trainers. The best trainer is going to be a chameleon for you and be whatever you need them to be. So
Right.
honestly, the questions that you ask them shouldn't be personality driven. It should be very much, what is their background, what is their experience, what are their success stories, do they have an example of a client that they could speak to as a referral sort of background. Do some research, find out what else is out there on Google.
And so how do I know whether a personal trainer is right for me? Is there any sort of checklist I should be looking at?
That's hard. I would guess that's kind of hard to answer, because you're not going to know if they're not right for you until you're throwing up and you're done with the program and you don't like it. If they're right for you, it's you feel successful, you're achieving your goals, you enjoy your time with the trainer. Most trainers like very much to become your friend. That's not a good thing, because
Right.
it's still it's a professional transaction. You're coming to the trainer for a service. They need to deliver a service to you, and that needs to be your results, your focus, what you're looking to get out of it. And if they're not doing that, then they're obviously not a good fit. So in the beginning, I would say, generally speaking, it's going to be, do you feel good about the program? Are you feeling stronger? Are you sleeping better? Are you talking about professionally your nutrition, your sleeping, your steps, if you're, on a professional basis. And then, like with, a good doctor or a good lawyer, you're going to know off the bat if you've got a good rapport with them.
Looking specifically at if someone's depressed, why is working out or getting exercise an important part of rising themselves out of that depression?
It's the number one most important thing for them to do to get out of the depression, because of the endorphins. I mean, that's the only natural antidepressant that you're going to get. That's single-handedly the most important thing that they can do and should do. Probably also the hardest thing for them to do.
Right.
Because depression, I'm sure, is very, paralyzing. You don't want to go out, you don't want to do anything, and it's the number one thing that you should do. Even if it's just beginning with just stepping, just go take a walk around your block. If you can't get out of the house, walk around your space, your house, your apartment, whatever that is. Get moving. That's the most important thing that you can do, and it's simply because of the endorphins. And then that is cyclical. That energy is going to, create more energy, and that's going to, start the cycle of getting you out of that depression.
Right. So, and you mentioned sleep. How important is sleep in the overall process?
Fundamentally, one of the most important aspects of it. They say that you lift weights in the gym, but you build your muscles while you're sleeping. And that's super duper important. You need that recovery time. And that's for your muscles. That's not speaking on, brain recovery and other types of recovery, but we speak on, at work, we speak on sleep heavily, because it's paramount.
And in working with your clients in terms of their nutrition, how does that work? Is it giving them a meal plan, or is it talking about calories, or all of the above?
All of the above. Most people come with us with some form of a body composition goal, which means weight loss, which means body build, body fat loss, whatever that is. But so generally speaking, our clients are looking for a calorie deficit. And so we based in our metrics, based in the math that we do, we see where they're at. They say, I want to do this in 12 weeks, and so we break it down to what they have to achieve daily in order to get there. That's one of our biggest metrics in making sure that you get there, because we won't set like intangible goals. It's got to be very specific goals and what you have to do daily. So within that daily goal framework is calories, and we talk about how many calories you specifically get, and of those calories, how many of those are your macros, your fats, your proteins, and your carbs. So we tell you exactly what to eat, you know. Then also, if the client says, no, I've got somebody that's cooking for me, or I've got a meal delivery, that's a little bit easier conversation because nobody really has to think about it. We just, know exactly what you've got going on. But a lot of people want to cook themselves. So we talk about measuring and making sure that things get weighed, and it's very, very specific. The nutrition aspect of any sort of a healthy routine is 80% of the success.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Tracey, so much for hopefully motivating our listeners to get off the couch or get away from the computer and to get in shape the right way.
Yeah, thank you. It's hard for, especially at the beginning of the year, everybody wants to go start into some sort of a health routine at the beginning of the year, and we of course always encourage it, but it's the getting started, like I said, that's the easy part. It's the maintaining it, that's the hard part. So you just have to find what you love, and it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's playing basketball, it doesn't matter if it's playing tennis or walking on the beach. You need to do what you love and what you can maintain and continue doing to get you off the couch.
Great. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.